You want to say anything to anybody?
Hello.
I looked this up. This was written in 5th century BC. So before 500 years, right before Jesus.
Yep.
It's crazy. It's crazy to me how like useful the advice is given the time period. Like, I don't know. That's my first observation. I think of like the Revolutionary War or like the Napoleon era where there was like honor and there's a certain like code to battle supposedly. And this is basically saying like water retains no shape, warfare there's no constant conditions. Like it doesn't matter. You need to scheme, you need to deceive the enemy. Like there's no code of honor seemingly what he's talking about, which is crazy because it's so old, but it's really true. So I found that fascinating.
Just win,
Like,
baby.
yeah, just win. There's no rules, there's no
You're
honor,
either
there's no
alive or
code of
you're dead.
ethics. Right. So that was interesting to me.
Well, you're right, but I mean, think about it. Back in the days of the cavemen, right?
Mhm.
Right. That's back
Yeah,
when, before civilization. I mean, they developed tactics that they had to overcome. Back then we were like the weak man on the block, right? There were all these
right.
powerful animals. We had no tools, no weapons. We had to use sticks and stones and teamwork, really, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and schemes.
Our brains and our thumbs are why we were able
Mhm.
to win.
There was a line where he says that the general is skillful in attack whose opponent does not know what to defend, and he is skillful in defense whose opponent does not know what to attack, which made me think of like the recent string of wars that the United States has fought, like let's say Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, where there was no well-defined enemy, and it was always a guessing game of who is a combatant, who's a civilian, and that really was a disaster for the U.S. So it's fascinating. Like 5th century BC, this guy's talking about stuff that applies to now. It's just crazy. Because if you don't know who's the enemy, you don't know who to attack, you're kind of screwed. Which is like what kind of happened.
Just kill everybody.
Yeah. Or like, I mean, I know I've heard, and I don't know. Obviously, there's been conflicting reports, but I know the official policy in Afghanistan, I believe it was the same in Iraq, is you can only discharge your weapon if there is somebody pointing their weapon at you. So like
Me and
I
Dan were
know
just talking about this. Basically,
right.
you had to call for permission. You
Hmm.
have to call for permission. You're being fired on. You can't fire back. You have to call for permission to be able to fire your weapon.
Right. And I know that like in Afghanistan, for instance, the Taliban, I mean, they blended in. Everybody in Afghanistan has a weapon because it's Afghanistan. So there would be people that had AK-47s, they had all these weapons, and Marines or Army people, they couldn't engage until they were fired upon. So I guess what happened, I watched a video recently about some veterans talking about this. They would do these just ridiculous routes. They would do like patrols for like no reason, whatever. And they would see these guys with guns observing them. They would observe the patterns of the US forces and then plan IEDs accordingly. So it was just like a no-win situation. It was just like you can't engage these people until they fire on you. They're observing you, they're setting up traps, and there's nothing you could do. So it's just a mess. But
Well, there's a
it
saying. I don't remember the exact words, but it goes. It's like it's too stupid to be stupid, right?
mhm.
When there's something that is that ridiculous, either you're dealing with somebody who is either there's only one of two possible explanations in my mind. Either they
Yeah.
are extremely incompetent or they are extremely corrupt.
Yeah. Yeah. I it's scary. Scary stuff.
So
20 years.
when you see millions of dollars going into their hands, when you see
Hmm.
$82 billion worth of weapons being left behind for whatever reason they want to spin it. Okay,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, it's not pretty. Definitely a lot of corruption.
Live long and prosper.